Hey everybody, welcome to a special episode of What the Heck Happened, Thom Explains. Oh my god, this beat. Oh, I've been listening to a lot of old 80s hip-hop this week, and I came up with this little beat this morning, and I've been listening to it over and over again. Oh yeah, there it is. That ride. Anyway, okay, special episode. So last week I reached out on Facebook and on our Twitter account, and I asked people to submit, topics and questions for this segment and things they would want me to explain. And pretty much the rules is that I can't look any of this up before I try to do my best to explain it from what I already know. So that's the rule. And then we're going to fact check to see how close I was to actually explaining said topic. So this week, Skylar McCormick, he submitted deep web versus dark web versus dark net. Well, it just so happens, Skylar, that I have been watching a lot of documentaries and I've been reading articles in the news about hacking and the dark web and the dark net. And so I do know a little bit about this. So let me go into what I know. Now, at this point, if you haven't heard of hacking or what a hacker is, you really need to get out of the cave and turn on something that glows in your face so you can join the rest of civilization. So hacking is an act by an individual or a group of going in and attacking or infiltrating a web-based server or website. And you go in and sometimes people will get information, or sometimes they will do what's called a DDoS attack or DDoS attack, which is denial of service attack. And what that does is basically they send so many requests at the website so quickly that it causes it to crash and nobody else can get on it. This is one of the most popular ones for hackers to kind of troll and shut down websites to make a point. Not all hacking is bad. I know there's been news lately about how Russia could have possibly hacked the DNC emails that were leaked during the election. And so that was kind of nefarious, and that definitely has a desired effect to cause some trouble. But some hacking, like in the aforementioned Anonymous, Anonymous actually has been responsible just recently for bringing down a large percentage of child pornography sites on the internet. And these child pornography sites just happen to have resided within the dark web. So real quick, let's go into this and I'm going to explain to the best of my ability each of these three terms and how they're connected together. So first, deep web. Deep web, very quickly, very simply, as I understand it, is the part of the internet you can't see when you go to Google. You have to have a special browser or other piece of software that's going to allow you to get in to see these websites that are hidden from typical web browsers like Google, like Bing, AOL, Yahoo, whatever you use. I don't know if anyone's still using AOL or Yahoo. I don't know why people would use Bing. But anyway, so that is kind of... I miss Ask Jeeves. That's a tangent. Anyway, so people that use the internet day to day, you're not really going to see the deep web unless you know about browsers. I think it's a browser. It's a piece of software. It's called Tor, T-O-R. And basically, that is one of the things that allows you to see these sites. Most of the time, you have to know what you're looking for. I know there's a lot of forums on Reddit you can go to where people post different sites that are within the deep web and the dark web, so you know where to go and get what you're looking for. I've never used Tor. I haven't downloaded it. I did look it up a couple of weeks ago because I was kind of curious exactly what it was. And they have on their site pretty much rules of how to use Tor. There's the main goal of Tor, really, I believe, from the developer standpoint, was to allow people to hide themselves when they were going on the internet, so that your IP address is hidden and your other information can't be obtained. If you do certain things on Tor, then your IP will be revealed, and it kind of is completely counterproductive to using it in the first place. But basically, it's a way to keep yourself anonymous. It's a way to just, go out there and do whatever you want, which can be a good thing and a bad thing, as we'll talk about. So the deep web simply is the part of the internet and private websites and websites that you can't see by searching Google, public browser and search engine resources. You can't see them. The dark web. Well, the dark web basically is the basement of the deep web. That's where a lot of would be considered nefarious activity happens within the deep web. Nefarious activity such as committing fraud, phishing scams, pornography, gambling, hacking groups advertise their services there, and suggestions from others come to hacking groups via the dark web. Drug sales. Drug sales are a huge thing on the dark web. So, and human trafficking, prostitution, you name it, it's there. It's the seedy side of life in the deep web. The deep web and the dark web also have some journalists and other writers, blogs of people who want to write and get information out there but remain anonymous and not be tracked. And so it can have its good uses, but for the most part, the dark web, from what I can see and what I've seen in documentaries and what I've read, it's just a skeevy place. You're not going to get out of there without some scum on your shoes if you go there. So that's what I understand of the dark web. And the dark net is the actual network itself that all of these things reside. So the dark net is a series of private private web servers, peer-to-peer servers and network groups, and sometimes things hidden in public networks and public servers. So that's the actual infrastructure, where everything lives, I believe. So deep web is the invisible internet. The dark web is the ugly, evil place of the deep web, and the dark net is the network on which it all resides. I hope I got that right. So I'm going to check it out real quick. I know it's not the best source of information, but I'm going to go to Wikipedia. What is the deep web? Did I get it right? Okay, so the part of the World Wide Web that is not discoverable by means of standard search engines, including password-protected dynamic pages or encrypted networks. Yay! Got that one right. All right, so next, what is the dark web? Let's see. I just need to change this. D-A-R-K. I still didn't do it right. I put in Darl. Jeez, what is wrong with me? Okay, dark web. The part of the World Wide Web that is only accessible by means of special software allowing users and website operators to remain anonymous or untraceable. Okay. Dark web. So, okay. Maybe I'm kind of right on that one. I don't know. Let's see. A little bit further. The dark web is the world exists darknet overlay networks in which public internet may require specific software configurations, authorization, and access. The dark web forms a small part of the deep web, the part of the web not indexed by search engines, although sometimes the term deep web is mistakenly used to refer to the dark web. Darknets, which constitute the dark web, include small friend-to-friend, peer-to-peer networks, as well as large popular networks like Freenet, I2P, and Tor, operated by public organizations and individuals. Users of the dark web refer to the regular web as ClearNet due to its unencrypted nature. The Tor dark web may be referred to as Onion Land, a reference to the network's top-level domain suffix .onion and the traffic anonymization technique of onion routing. So, okay, I'm going to give myself maybe 75-80% on that one. But yeah, here's the list of contents. Bitcoin services, darknet markets, hacking group services, fraud, hoaxes, puzzles. That's interesting. Legal and ethically disputed pornography, illegal. Terrorism, oh, lovely. And social media. Journalism, commentary. So, I'll give myself an 80% on that one. Bitcoin services. I have heard about how this is used as far as Bitcoin goes. You're not familiar with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a virtual currency that's used a lot on internet transactions all around the world. And there is something called a Bitcoin tumbler, which are services where basically you can submit virtual currency or take regular currency and turning it into virtual currency. And then it's mixed up with money from a lot of other people and sources, and then it's redistributed. And the reason to do this is to kind of launder the money and to eliminate or try to eliminate where the money came from. And so there's no path. You can't trace it. So that's kind of, if you're doing that, you're up to no good. So that's another not so great thing about it. So next, let's go to the our last one. What is it? Darknet. Dark. What is the darknet? N-E-T. I can spell public school. Yay. Darknet, a computer network with restricted access that is only chiefly for illegal peer-to-peer file sharing. Ooh, so I was a little off on that one. Let's see. Good old Wikipedia. A darknet or darknet is an overlay network that can be only accessed with specific software configurations or authorization using a non-standard communication protocol and ports. Two typical darknet types are friend-to-friend networks, usually for file sharing and peer-to-peer connection, and privacy networks such as Tor. The reciprocal term for an encrypted darknet is ClearNet or surface web when referring to search engine indexable content. So I'll give myself a 75 on that one. Seems like it's a little bit deeper and darker than I thought it was before. So this is basically peer-to-peer direct, and I'm sure once you get enough of them connected together, you form quite the web. So, all right. So I'll give my first one. I'll give myself a 95 for deep web. For dark web, I'll give myself an 80%. And dark now, I'm going to give myself a 70 because maybe it's a little bit more specific than I thought it was before. Although they are listing down here Tor and some other resources you can go to figure out how to get on there and see some things you probably shouldn't see. The key thing seems to be here for people to maintain anonymity when they're on the internet and to hide and mask IP addresses so that nothing can be traced back to you. So it's nefarious, or if it's just, I'm sure I would think that possibly, political and business leaks could occur here, maybe possibly whistleblowing. Not seeing anything about that here. Maybe I'll look that up a little bit later. But I could see the positive and I can see the negative to having this type of network and these resources available. But that's pretty much it. So deep web, things you can't see when you go to Google, and dark web, the evil places where dirty, smelly people do bad things in the deep web. And the dark net is the actual peer-to-peer connections between those people doing those nefarious things. Okay, I hope I explained it. Seems like I got it. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I think I can get by. So we're looking for more topics and more questions for me to sit here and ramble and try to explain to everybody. So if you've got a suggestion, then you can definitely send us a message on Twitter at WhatHappenedPod, or check us out on Facebook. Like I said, if you go into the search box and just search What the Heck Happened, you're going to find us. And just send us a message. Just go right there and post a comment with a topic or an idea of something you want me to ramble about. Is that enough words for you? Okay. So, what the heck happened? We're going to get going. We finally have our first episode posting very shortly with me and Todd together. Thanks for listening to this edition of Thom Explains. Check us out once again on Facebook at wth.happened, or search for us in the search box. We're on Twitter at WhatHappenedPod. We're on Instagram at WhatHappenedPod. And What the Heck Happened is now available on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and searchable on all your favorite podcast apps. And as of this week, finally, Google has gotten their crap together and approved the podcast, and we are also on Google Play. Several episodes have already been posted. Some old episodes that I did on my previous podcast I posted with me and Todd. And I will also be bringing out some more of the podcasts that we did together, such as the music podcast, where we went through the history of the bands, a marathon. I think we talked for almost 2.5 hours. It's a 3-episode marathon podcast about all the bands and music we played in together. So that will also be coming up very soon. Thanks for listening, and join us again on What the Heck Happened and for a future episode of Thom Explains.